Many years ago, about less than 50 years ago, this was in the 70s, Srila Prabhupada said this. He basically told his disciples, I guess there was a problem with unemployment at the time. In the 70s, there was rampant unemployment. So, Srila Prabhupada's disciples was asking about it, and he basically told them, he said, you think that people are unemployed right now? He said, in the future, so many millions of men are going to be unemployed. He said unemployment is going to be a big problem in the future. Millions and millions of men will be unemployed. He didn't say why, but I could see things formulating right now around this COVID stuff and all of that. A lot of people are getting laid off. So unemployment looks like it's about to shoot up real fast. And the stock market is doing bad too. But yeah, Srila Prabhupada told his disciples, he was like, look, you ain't seen nothing yet. Unemployment is going to get real bad. He said it's going to be so bad that people are going to be leaving their families and abandoning the towns and the cities and going to the forest and the wilderness just to grow food. So this is what Srila Prabhupada was telling his disciples back in the 70s. And he said also, we must have our Hare Krishna farms, our spiritual farms in place so that we can take these men in and feed them and employ these men. He said, but most importantly, not only will we employ and pay these men, so apparently Srila Prabhupada could see in the future that not only will we have a way to employ people, we'd also be able to pay them, but also the most important thing is that you would be saturated in spiritual culture. You would be you would be influenced by it. Just like, humans are very adaptable. Your genes, your DNA, scientists found out, can adapt much quicker. I believe it's called epigenetic changes. Your DNA can change much faster than was previously believed. They have a saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Or like a person who goes to jail, they don't necessarily have to be tough on the street, but when they get in jail, their mind changes to a point where they're able to adapt to their environment and survive in their new environment. So likewise, a person who is on a farm where people are getting up before sunrise, where people are practicing ahimsa, non-violence, to get their food by means of, eating. Many people incur violence every day just to eat food. But in a place where people practice ahimsa or non-violent getting of foodstuffs, in a place where people are getting up before the sunrise and doing their meditation or their yoga or chanting or reading scriptures or worshiping the deities, in a place where you see the food offered to the Supreme Lord daily and then you partake of that food and other spiritual activities, just by being in that environment, it can activate your spiritual energy, it can activate your spiritual life, it can put you back on your divine path. So Srila Prabhupada was a genius in that he wanted to protect people's bodies, because health is important. Health is actually first. You can't serve the deities or you can't chant if your finger is falling off from gangrene. So health is first. Srila Prabhupada was a genius because he saw the future, he saw what would be happening in the future, and he wanted his disciples to be prepared. Here we are in 2020, there's a worldwide pandemic, and what's really disappointing and almost scary is that I asked a fellow devotee to please look into New Vrindavan, West Virginia, the Golden Palace, and see what their availability is like for short stays or extended stays, because they have bungalows, they have like hotels, they have hotels on the land where people can go and visit New Vrindavan. And unfortunately, due to this COVID thing, they're pretty much not having any functions or gatherings. I know of other temples that are closed down, which shouldn't be surprised. Churches, masjids, all of those things are going to close down in New York City soon. But New Vrindavan and Gita Nagari are two places that I was hoping to go to get some refuge in case civilization should fall. Now I'm pretty much back to square A, because I can't go there, I can't bring my family there, I can't bring thousands of people there to begin a new life. So it's really gonna boil down to me and a collective of people putting our money together and getting some land. And I would hope that I have the administrative power on that land where I could just ban one thing. If I could just ban one thing on that land, it would definitely be cow slaughter. Like, cow slaughter brings all the bad luck that you ever knew about and never knew about. Cow slaughter, like, that's the last thing you want on your land, is people killing cows. I don't care if you like to eat meat. There's meat alternatives, or there's other animals you can eat besides cow. I wouldn't want any cow slaughter on my land, but I'm at that point now where I'm about to form a collective and start collecting. And I want to make it real clear, I'm not like your other leaders. I'm not taking no shots at nobody, but those who are guilty know who they are. There's a lot of our leaders, so-called leaders, they'll take money for philanthropy projects. They'll take money to build this or that kind of building, or this or that kind of institution. And there's no transparency. I mean, there's even leaders of temples who do the same thing. They'll take so much money from their congregation, and there's no transparency. The church does the same thing. No transparency. So you giving your money, you're expecting that some group or collective of people that you believe in or trust in is going to build some land, and get some houses on that land so that people can get out of this nightmare that we're going into. Because like New York City is virtually on shutdown. Long Island, there's no ammonia in Long Island. There's no bleach on Long Island. If you didn't get it before. But I'll just put this out there for the people who need to know. There's a Kmart at Penn Station in Manhattan. They're closing down right now. They're going through a closing procedure. And they still have ammonia and bleach left. I don't want people to go bum rush the store. What do you call it? Mob? It's a something mob. I forgot the first word. I must be tired. But flash mob. Don't go flash mob the Penn Station Kmart. But go there if you need ammonia and bleach. Especially people in Long Island. You should see these supermarkets out here. It's almost scary. It's almost scary. And I was much more confident yesterday before I realized that no access to New Vrindavan. Like I've been saying for years, if there's a problem, I'm going to New Vrindavan in Marshall County, West Virginia first, or I'm going to Gita Nagari, Port Royal, Pennsylvania, either or, because I know that they have self-sustainable farms. But now access is no longer granted to the outside, which I understand and I respect. So now I'm like, I really got to get some land. So how am I going to raise up this money in a short time to get some land? It's not about me buying an acre of land for myself. You know what I mean? I'm talking about 120 acres. I'm talking about 1,008 acres. I'm talking about 10,080 acres. Like, we need some land for many, many, many people to go to. And we have to set up quarantine areas on the grid. This is just the reality of the world we live in. But anybody trying to live in an urban environment, let me tell you something. I lived through Superstorm Sandy in an isolated community called Long Beach, Long Island. We was eating food off of trucks. Those trucks, the military trucks. I had even started eating meat for a while during that time. It was that serious. It was right after I became meat free. It was the same year. But because of the dire circumstances of the situation, I told people before, so it's not like a secret that I was hiding, and I don't want nobody to be like, oh, no, I had to eat meat because there was nothing else to eat. And I was doing demolition. And we were eating military rations off of trucks. So this could easily happen in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Everybody's eating because the restaurants just got shut down. They just shut down the restaurant. So listen, I'm not interested in moving from one city to another or from one urban environment to another. I'm this close to abandoning the cities, at least for a short time. and head into a rural environment. I'm this close, B, because I'm not going to be out here standing on a food line. The reality is, devotees of Krishna would prefer to honor prasadam. We would prefer to eat prasadam. And the basic foundation of how to cook prasadam or prepare prasadam or offer prasadam is fruit, flower like a rose, water, or even a leaf. And you can offer milk and milk products. If you don't have no land, you can't get none of those products when the supermarket is empty. And then you're going to have to accept whatever the military gives you. And one thing I've seen about America is Americans are very disorganized and crazy. Like, if they put this place on, again, the restaurants are shut down in New York City. There's a lot of people in New York City that, as it is, do not cook their own food. They depend on restaurant food each and every day to have their meals. What are they going to do? How are they going to eat? I mean, yeah, it's easy to say adapt, but according to their living situation, some people live in a small room like this and don't have a hot plate. So what are they going to do now that restaurants are shutting down? And if you can't grow food in an urban environment, you're going to be in so much trouble as this pandemic progresses. So I'm really serious about two things right now: forming a collective. Oh yes, I want to be transparent with any monies that goes into that trust fund, that fund to get the land, to get adequate housing, to get renewable resources like energy resources. It would have to be transparent. I'm not taking your money to go buy an island or to run off with the most beautiful women in the world. I got bigger plans than that. I have to protect the cows. I have to protect the intelligent class of people on this planet. I have to protect the women, the children, the elderly, and the sick. So, if we want civilization to continue, there's two things we must protect, though, is the cows and the intelligent class of man. Now remember, intelligence is not measured by how many books you've written or how many college degrees you have. Intelligence is actually measured by how a person controls their own senses. And the sense of control that will give you mastery over all of your other senses is the sense of controlling the tongue. And that's why I switched my video format over to more speaking Krishna consciousness, because if I could use my tongue, because back in the days I've used my tongue to talk a lot of foolishness, a lot of nonsense, even kiss some of the wrong women, but that's neither here nor there. But now I just like to use my tongue in the proper way, which is to speak about Krishna and to eat foods that were offered to Krishna. Those are the two main important uses. You gotta vibrate and you gotta taste with the tongue. So yeah, I would like to form a transparent fund, and we really need to get this land. And let me tell you something, the time is running out, because if they lock down America again, whatever they do in New York, they do in other cities. So they already closed down restaurants, bars. Like, people now don't have no social life. Forget dating. Dating is over. Unless you want to play risky dating, dating is pretty much over. No more bars, no pool halls, no bowling, no swimming. It's gonna get real as people go stir crazy. There's no sports. People are about to get very sexual. People are about to start indulging in a lot of drugs. Also, some people are about to pursue intellectual pursuits like reading, studying, and some people are about to turn very spiritual. But you gotta watch out for the people on the lower end of the spectrum. There might be looting in the near future. Again, Long Island is about to suffer. Ain't nothing out here, I'm telling y'all now. These supermarkets don't have what you need. Also, get Dettol soap, Dettol. They have soap bars in Jackson Heights. Please don't rack up on them. Don't take 15 and leave none for the next man. Get 3, 4, something to hold you down over the next few weeks. That's cool, but don't go overboard. And yeah, it's time. Wherever my angelic soldiers are, the soldiers that's of the supernatural realm, I'm calling for your assistance now. It's time that we stand up and do what's supposed to be done. to honor the eternal Guru Parampara that goes back to Krishna. So to honor all of the ascended masters and spiritual teachers and gurus that come in the line down from Krishna, it is time for me to stand up and do something significant for this world. And I ask for your support because, when I say farms, I have a great vision about things, you know what I mean? And I don't just mean farms. Ain't nobody gonna be bored. It's gonna be very interesting. But I will need your support, or I'm gonna need the Illuminati to open up their bank books and just give it all to me, because apparently the cabal is being judged right now as we speak. There's a lot of developments going on in the world, and there's, again, a word, cabal, what people call the Illuminati. A lot of them are going down right now, and the coronavirus is the excuse. Well, more later. Now, see, I want to get out of town, and I'm finding out they might close the buses. So I might need to buy a car on an emergency basis. If anybody out there has a car, in New York City or Glen Cove area, the budget right now is about $1,500 for a car, give or take a few dollars, preferably take, meaning on the lower end. But I need a reliable car, maybe 4-cylinder car. It has to be reliable though. And I don't want 1,000,000 miles on it, and preferably I would prefer a car that drove more on the highway than in the city. Too much stop and go is not good for your car. But yeah, I need a car right now. Now they talking about shutting down buses. Like, how would I get out of New York? How could I provide food for my son or take him out of New York if I'm sitting in a concrete jungle? Yo, this is about to get real. Today's date is, I believe it's the 14th, Monday the 14th. No, it's Monday. It should be Monday like the 16th or something like that. Yo, send blessings, y'all. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again, don't go from city to another city. You can't grow food in the city. Not enough to feed a family unless you're lucky and have a super big yard. It's time to start heading to the rural environment. And I just wish that the Hare Krishnas was ready for the influx of people that they're about to get. But they ain't ready, so I'm ready to do it. My angelic soldiers, my ancestors, my etheric warriors, and my true blue, flesh and blood, friends, family, and devotees of the Lord and devotees of the devotees, I need y'all help right now. Let's do this.